What's up, everybody? It is the Friday show. Don't tell Howard Bender, but the Friday show is my favorite show. He's on Tuesdays and Wednesdays for waivers and start sick questions, all that junk. I do a solo show on Monday that's just me talking to myself about nerdy stuff. On Thursday, we have John and Pemba and Eric Romoff doing start sits, but Friday's when I get to hang out with my good friends here in the chat, and I get to bring my real friends on the show. Today we got our buddy Nate Polvogt. He is the co-founder of Optimus Fantasy. I mean, the crew you guys have over there is literally just people that I enjoy. Like, it is such a good crew, man. Who, except for John, Dynasty Coach A, I don't like him, but everybody else over there.
Oh, look, he's got some blackmail on me. I can't talk about it. Some things happened at the Senior Bowl last year. We're not going to get into it. But, other than that, man, like, we really do. I get to do 5 shows a week. I get to hang out with Mike Reedy, which he says hello, Coop. I get to hang out with Herms and Casey Kasem and Keith Fleming, and it's a blast, man. And to get to do it over football, what a blessing, right?
It's the best, dude. You got such a good squad. And I'm just messing, man. I love John, dude. He's like
John's
the guy.
Great.
He's so great because, like, he knows how to take a joke. So, like, you can joke around with him like that, and he knows how to give it. He knows how to take it, man. We got the chat popping with us today. We got Jerry in the house and Dunn. Oh, did the tackle monster hit yesterday? How many tackles did Roseboom have yesterday? Did we get our 8.5? And did we get it? And let me check. 9 tackles, baby. Let's go.
Nice.
That tackle monster strikes again. And that is the funnest bet, Nate. I'm not sure. Do you ever do those bets?
Not really. I need to get more into that stuff. I do more straight up kind of talking about it and try and remember to place my bets on Sunday morning.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is that this one is like the fun one because when I really decided to start doing them a lot is that last Thanksgiving, I was with like my little nieces and nephews, and I put a bet on Quay Walker to have tackles, and they don't really know what's going on. But I told them, I was like, see that guy number 7? He's the tackle monster, and we want him to get tackles. And then every play, they're like, get him! Did he get him? Did that count? I'm like, yes, we got him. Like, it was just so much fun. So we do the tackle monster bets here, and always getting involved. But thanks everybody for popping out. Yes, Angie saying that it hit. Let's go, baby. Yes. So how's your season going, man? Are you in playoffs in any leagues here?
I got bounced in Kings Classic in the final week. That was a bummer. Good season though. I mean, I was right up there with everybody. And then Theo Greminger took me out last week by like 10 points. Just got bounced from Scott Fishbowl. I finished second to last in my home league because I drafted Christian McCaffrey and Tua. So that really stung. And otherwise, I've got like 15 dynasty leagues. I'm at least in the playoffs. Don't know how far I'll go, but I should make my money back. Let's hope.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. My dynasty leagues, I always do really well in. So I'm in the playoffs in pretty much all of those ones. In my home league, I also came in second to last, man. At the swing, I took it was a 14-team league. I had the last pick, and I was like, you know what? PPR, going wide receivers. I took Drake London and Marvin Harrison Jr. And, it's been a little rough. I mean, and Kyle Pitts just absolutely killed me in that league. But I'm in the playoffs in a bunch of them. Super excited. I'm in the playoffs in the RT Sports Fantasy Alarm Listener League. Watch out for Yacht Rock Friday. Absolute wagon.
Nice.
So let's go. But today, folks, here's what we're doing. Friday show, we go through the slate. We got a full one here. We're making an FFPC lineup. So if you guys aren't set up with FFPC, use promo code Coop at myffpc.com. They'll give you $25 when you deposit $35 or more, and you can play with us over there. I like doing the FFPC weekly challenge. I play like all of them, all the different DFS type things. In this one, which Nate, you have not played, so here's how it goes. No salary, no draft. You can start anyone you want. The only rule is you cannot start 2 players from the same team. So it makes for a lot of very difficult decisions because there's a lot of chalk. You got to separate the good chalk from the bad chalk, and there's no stacking. So on one hand, you don't have to worry about playing against somebody that starts like Burrow and Chase and, Chase Burrow throws 5 touchdowns to Chase. Like, that can't happen here, but we also can't use that for leverage. We got to kind of navigate around it. We finished in the money with Dave Kluge. We finished in the money with Bob Harris. We've come very close with some other lineups. And here's what we do with that, Nate. If you come in third or fourth in these contests, so we're in a 30-person contest. If you come in third or fourth, they either give you $100 or they give you an entry into a $125 buy-in best ball for next year. So if like with Bob Harris, we won that, and he's like, no, don't take the money. We're going to run that again and do a show in the off season. If you come in second, you get the same thing. You can take $300 or $350 Fantasy Pros main event, which would probably do that. And then as we worked out the deal last week with Linda and Wyatt, if we win the $600, we just take that and we spend it on drinks at a big party at the expo.
All right. I'm game for that. So if we win the 2 lowers, let's push it on. If we take the 600, it's drinks at the expo. I love that.
Bingo, brother. Bingo.
All right.
That's the deal. Yes. All right. So let's get into it. I've got this spreadsheet I made for our show here. And what this does for us is it'll help us keep track of the players we like. So in here, it's not just the players we're using, Nate. Anybody that you would even consider, let's throw them in here. I mean, if there's somebody that we probably won't use, but you just want to show them some respect, we've been doing that. Rich Rebar started that tradition of the honorable mention, right? Like, if you just want to give a shout out to Stone Smart or somebody, we can put that in here. So what it shows in here, folks, the left column is the over under. That's the combined points that Vegas suggests will happen here. Then we got the spread, and then using the magic of algebra or whatever type of math we would figure this out. It tells us what the implied point totals are. So for instance, 46.5 point over under with the Texans favored by 3 implies that the Dolphins will score 21.75 and Texans 24.75. That'll help be a guide for us. That all makes sense for you, Nate?
Yep. Love it. This is great.
Well, let's start with this then. If you were going to use a Miami Dolphin, which one would you use? And they actually got a couple stars there. So who should we throw on the sheet?
So I like this matchup for the wide receivers. Houston has been putrid against the position this year. I would almost lean going Jalen Waddle, get off of the chalk of Tyreek Hill.
You sneaky devil. That is, so in these ones, the teams that win each week, it's often the chalk with a little twist, right? Like that's often the case. Is like the tough decisions we have to make. We can't get everybody in the lineup. Also, some of these teams that have multiple stars, if T. Higgins outscores Jamar Chase, you get a huge leg up on those type guys. Same with Waddle or Tyreek. Yeah. Same with if somebody starts Tyreek and we start Devon Achane and he goes crazy. Is Achane somebody we should consider here? Or are you off that one?
No, you got to consider him every week. I mean, he's consistently in the RB1 conversation, so you've got to at least consider him.
Right, exactly. And this one is also tight end premium. So not only going to have a tight end in there, but we can consider tight ends at the flex as well. Yeah. On the Texan side, what are you feeling about? Jerry's liking the Waddle call. And Angie says that she's playing Jen in the Queen's Classic this week.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping we were both the Queen's Classic and the King's Classic representing in the playoffs. We couldn't pull it off, but Jen's going to represent just fine.
I love watching Jen draft. I feel like she takes it so serious, and she gets just watching her work at those at the expo. It's so funny, dude. Like I was trying to interview her during the draft one year, and she was like, "Get away from me." She was just like, "Please go away. I'm trying to win this league."
Oh, when you're locked in, right? Okay, so on the Texan side, I think you've got to start Joe Mixon. Got to.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
He's been a monster, and this is the focus of that offense at this point. So he's the only Texan for me, I think, this week that's must have.
All right, I'm loving it. All right, next game then here. And again, folks in the chat, if you guys have questions, feel free to throw them in. We'll hit on whatever you guys want to talk about. If you could do us a favor and just help with the flow of the show, if you have a question about a specific player and you drop it in the chat while we're talking about that team, that's going to really help everybody out quite a bit. Jerry wants to know if we consider Jonnu Smith in something like this.
Yeah.
You can throw him in as a honorable mention, but I don't know if he's going to outscore these other fellas.
No, he won't outscore any of these other guys. If you're staying off of Miami, fine, but
Jonnu gets there's certain players that it's kind of like Seal. Like they have that one. I don't know why I put Smith in there. He's Jonnu, right?
Bjork,
yeah, exactly. The one named guy. All right, Commanders Saints. The Commanders big favorites here. 25.5 point implied total. On the Saints, is there anybody we'd consider here?
No, not with Jake Haener starting. I have no interest in MVS. I have no interest. Yeah, no, I'm not interested. Maybe Alvin Kamara.
I think honorable mention player for sure because
Yeah.
he's just like, I feel like they just like gave him the extension because they're like, hey man, we know you're about to get beat up for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Here's some money. So yeah, I could see him getting a lot of dump downs here. On the Commanders side, there are definitely some options. And Fernando wants to know: would you start Jaden Daniels or Kyler Murray? Looks like we have a couple Daniels questions coming up.
Oh boy. I would probably start Jaden Daniels this week. I like the matchup against New Orleans. I've got him higher in my rankings. So I would say Jaden Daniels this week.
And him versus Bo Nix, same thing.
Same thing. He's 3 slots higher than Bo Nix for me this week.
That's pretty much exactly what I have too. So we'll put Daniels as an option in here. Is there anyone else we'd consider from the Commanders?
You could talk me into maybe Brian Robinson if you're filling up at other positions, some of the higher priced guys or higher priced guys. I guess there's no price here, but other than that, no, I don't think there's anybody else I'm interested in here.
Yeah, I don't really, McLaurin should be fine, but like I think with no teams on bye, at the end of the day, and I think the same is going to go for B-Rob, is when the question starts being, oh, do we start Achane or Mixon or B-Rob? I don't think B-Rob's going to cut it, but we'll put him in there for honorable mention. Next one here, Daniels there at QB. That could be an interesting one against the Saints. Jets, Jaguars, 40.5 point over under. So we got some low implied totals. Can we just, and Evan Engram now on IR with shoulder surgery. Our pets' heads are falling off me. What is going on? The worst possible timing.
The worst possible time.
To lose Njoku and Disley and Engram. We don't know if Njoku's going to play or not. McBride's dealing with a knee. It's just like bad.
Where's Greg Dulcich when you need him?
Dude,
sweet Prince.
Theo Johnson got hurt and everything, and he played.
I know.
He played one snap, I think. I think he played one. He ran one route. So we'll see. Hey, you never know. Jaguars. I mean, no.
I don't really have any interest in this game in general because you don't like the backfield in New York. You're not going to go Isaiah Davis or Braylon Allen. There isn't enough upside there. You worry about Garrett Wilson. Maybe Devontae Adams is like an honorable mention guy, but I mean, that's about it.
Yeah. Adams going to get like 15 targets and catch 6 of them. So I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, the Jets are cursed. So what can you do about it?
Yeah. Which I love that as a Patriots fan. Good. All right. Cowboys. Yeah. Jerry says move on. Good call. We will move on. But dude, I mean, like, where do you want us to go, Jerry? It's the Cowboys Panthers the next one here. Panthers favored in this one. Which is, I mean, it's not really surprising. They've been playing well lately.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in acquiring Bryce Young in a Superflex Dino League? Like, what's the price right now on a guy like that?
I mean, I still think you're looking at like a 3rd rounder for him and maybe like a bench piece if you wanted to. I'd be okay with that. If he goes off, it was worth it. If not, I don't value draft picks that highly.
Yeah.
So
I'd give a second for him, I think. I think I would.
Really?
Yeah, I think so, man.
I don't think I would.
It's just so hard to even give yourself a shot at finding a quarterback in the 2nd round of a Superflex. It's just like it doesn't happen.
That's a good point.
You
make a fair point.
Dude, there was this year in my maybe Michael Penix was going like early 2nd in Superflex, but like there were like 6 quarterbacks that were taken in the 1st round, 7. It's just like it's so hard.
Yeah, it's tough out there.
But I'm also with you. I also notoriously devalue picks. Yep. In one of my leagues, I waived my 3rd round pick this year. I was like, my players are better.
Never mind.
I'm not even. I offered it to anyone. I was like, does anyone want one of my players in my 3rd round pick for any player? And everyone said no. And I had the 49ers. I would have had my worst players were the 49ers defense and it is a shallower dynasty league, but like it didn't make sense to waive my guys. It just didn't make sense to cut my guys to you. So I waived my pick. Fuck them picks.
No, I get it. I get it. Once you get out of the 1st round, it's really hard to find long-term value in dynasty. And I don't think people necessarily recognize that sometimes.
The hit rates are like, basically the hit rates are this. The 1st overall pick, the 101, is above 50%. The odds are good.
Yeah.
Every other 1st round pick is a 50% at best shot. And then after that, it goes to like 33% in the 2nd, 20% in the 3rd. Yeah. And that'll relies on there being enough guys drafted in the first 3 rounds of the real NFL draft. Once you get outside of that, those right, it's like, there's only so many Amon St. Browns and Puka Nakuas. So just like
right?
I don't
Isaiah
know, man.
Pacheco's and that's an anomaly. But I think there's a generation of these dynasty players who got spoiled by James Robinson going undrafted, like blowing up and saving their season, and like guys like Justin Jefferson going off their rookie year. This is not normal status, folks.
That's
These
what I'm
are
saying, dude.
yeah.
I'll trade him. So I'm doing a second there. But anyway, in this one, any Panther we would consider?
I might consider Adam Thielen on volume.
He's he's been getting peppered here.
Consider.
Yeah. On the Cowboys, I'll throw out of respect, we'll put CeeDee's name. We don't want to anger the fantasy gods by not putting his name in.
Right. Yeah. I think those are the only two guys in this matchup I'd have any interest in plugging into a lineup at this point.
Yeah, it's like Chuba and Dowdle have been good, but do I rank them top 10? Like everyone in our lineup should probably be ranked top 10 at their position.
Yep. Oh, 100%. They be. He's neither of those guys are top 10 right now for me.
Yeah. Dowdle or James Conner this week for Fernando?
Conner.
Thielen or Mike Evans?
Boy, I can't say sit Mike Evans for Adam Thielen.
I won't. I can't and I won't. I'll start Mike Evans. I'll go to the loony bin on that one. First game, the Panthers have been favored in 700 days. Goodness.
Wow.
Gracious. Yeah. Ann wants to know Chuba. Chuba, I have ranked just outside the top 12 or so, I think. But it's a good matchup, but it's like, we're probably there's not enough. There's not enough.
No, I've got Chuba at 14. Just outside.
Exactly. And when we're making a lineup like this, it really has to be super chalk. You know? Ravens, Giants. That's where we'll find some chalk. Look at that Ravens implied point total.
Yeah.
Let's say no Giants right now, no matter what.
No, there's no way. No Giants. Ravens side though, Derrick Henry, yeah.
I think almost definitely.
Yeah. Not interested in the receivers though.
No.
Maybe
because we've even seen it with the Zay Flowers is a player. I said this on radio last night. He's never been bad in a game. He's been phased out though, right?
Yeah.
Because like the Bills game, Derrick Henry ran for 200 yards.
Yeah.
You know?
Andrew, do you remember 2 years ago when we were all excited about Todd Monken and they're going to throw again? They're going to throw.
I remember.
Now they're running the ball harder, and it's fine because Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson too. I think in this matchup, I want him. It gets out of hand early. He's still going to do some things on the ground.
Yeah, we'll put his name in there for sure. I mean, he's just like people asked. Somebody was like, "What's this? What's the ceiling for Lamar Jackson in a game like this?" It's the same as it always is: 5 touchdowns.
Yep.
You know, if the Giants can push back at all, they will just keep throwing points on the board. And for some teams like the Lions, they don't stop. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they don't really bench guys until they're up by 40 or 50.
Right.
It's kind of dumb to do that.
I don't love it, but for fantasy, I do.
Right. It's like the thing is to blow teams out to the point where you're benching players, you have to score all those points first. You know?
Yeah.
Next one here, Chiefs Browns. I'm surprised by the over-under on this one of 43. I was thinking more shootout, but I guess not.
I thought more shootout as well. It still could be. I'm probably not going to bank on it. I think on the Chiefs side, for the best team in the league, it's interesting because I really have no interest in any of their marquee players here this week. You don't know who's going to get what. I mean, we assume Isaiah Pacheco is going to continue to assume more and more carries and get into that 20 range, but is he?
I don't know. This could be our defense, dude. Maybe.
This matchup,
we need turnovers, and you know what I mean? It's like to score really big, you need like a punt return for a touchdown or a pick six, and Jameis is the pick factory.
I've got the Chiefs are my number one DFS defense this week for DraftKings and FanDuel.
Okay.
So
we will consider that.
I'm on board with that.
I got this. I usually just leave that over there because I don't really care about it. Linda did not like the fact. Linda was not happy with that.
I'm sure she wasn't.
We put Cameron Dicker in. We had to scroll over, but we give the people what they want. They want Derrick Henry 600 yards. Scamp.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
It could be.
On the Brown side, no Njoku.
Jerry Jeudy.
The hottest player in football.
The hottest player in football. And again, I don't think we'll see Cedric Tillman this week.
Yeah.
I know he might play, he might not play. And even if he does, Jerry Judy's been so dominant.
He's been great, dude. He's been great. Yeah. Good for him. Even Steve Smith had to release a video saying, "Hey, you know what? Good job, kid."
Yeah. Good for him.
Steve Smith rocks, bro. If you watch the video, he literally says that too. He's like, "You know what? You're crushing it, and you don't need to hear it from me. It doesn't matter what I say because I'm not a player anymore. But I just wanted to say, hey, good job." So good for him. It's Steve Smith. He rules, dude. Yeah, check that out. But anyway, let's move on from that game. That game stinks. Bengals Titans. Bengals 25.75 for a. So we're gonna want to have a Bengal. This is where decision time comes around.
The question is, which Bengal?
That's the question every week, brother.
Yeah, I've got Chase Brown as RB9 in half PPR this week. I could be swayed to start him. Of course, Jamar Chase, you have to put him on there. It's like CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, I think I have Jamar
like that.
I think I have Chase ranked 1, if not top 3.
I have him at 1.
Yeah, so we're gonna probably. I think in that case, we're probably gonna go Chase. On the Titan side, there's just too many good teams, too many games.
Yeah, Well, you don't want to roll out Will Levis? Have you not seen the mayonnaise commercial?
I started him last week against the Jaguars. I was like, dude, he scores 16 points or more in 4 straight games, and then he plays the Jaguars and does nothing. Fantasy football is so stupid.
That's why I got bounced from Scott Fishbowl.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, and that's such a deep format with multiple quarterbacks. It's like, of course you're going to play him in that format, and then naturally he does nothing. And I bet this week he'll do something. He'll probably go crazy.
Oh, yeah, have like 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 400 yards.
Oh God. All right, next game here: Patriots Cardinals. Patriots still projected for 20 points. Cardinals looking good though in this one. Any Patriots you consider?
None. If Hunter Henry scored touchdowns, I'd consider him, but he
came up 1 yard short last week, and then after that, later in the game, he had a ball hit off his shoulder pads and get intercepted at the goal line.
Yeah, no, that was brutal.
Yeah, but he's got me. I know, dude, but he's got so many targets lately. We'll put him on the show. Yeah. On the Cardinals side,
well, if there's no Trey McBride,
I
would be interested in Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah. Looks like
I haven't seen anything on him.
As of 20 minutes ago, Tyler Drake said Trey McBride is at practice, logging a day at practice, but it doesn't say that he's full. It's just that he's out there.
Okay.
Oh. Head coach Jonathan Gannon said Trey McBride did not suffer his knee issue during last week's game. So when did he do it?
Oh, is this going to be one of those like he slipped on a banana peel in his kitchen at home? Where he ran over his foot with his own snowblower, clearing his yard.
Remember, they don't have snow in Arizona.
Oh, well, that's a fair point. So not that one, but
hit by a rattlesnake in the knee. Maybe I remember when Nate Burleson broke his arm because he was protecting a pizza. Do you remember that?
Yes.
He said his pizza was falling off the car seat, so he looked over to stop it, and he crashed his car.
Dude, I do the same. It's pizza.
It's pizza, dude. Oh, if it falls off the seat, it gets all mashed up.
You're screwed.
Yeah, I'd break an arm over it. I wonder if he still ate the pizza.
Probably. I hope so.
At that stage, you're sitting there in the emergency room.
Right.
All right, back to what we were talking about. Cardinals side. Kyler Murray. Where do you have Kyler Murray?
Yeah, I've got Kyler Murray outside of the top 10, I do believe. Here, let me pull my rankings back up. I've got Kyler Murray at 12 this week.
Okay, I think I have him like 7 or so.
It's not a symptom of Murray. It's just I like some of these other guys just a smidge
better
than him this week.
Dude, there's so many good quarterback options. I was doing my ranking and I'm ranking like quarterback 20, and I'm like, this is pretty good play still. Like even like Aaron Rodgers, I'm like, I mean.
Well, yeah, you're getting down to QB 17, 18, 19. Whether you like it or not, Jameis is going to sling against Kansas City. Aaron Rodgers is playing better. Stroud at 19. Russell Wilson at 20. These are all viable guys this week.
Yeah.
It's wild.
There's so many of them. It's
not in this format, but.
No. McBride, if he plays, but
Yeah.
I don't even know if we need to go there. Yeah, we'll put. I mean, you said Marv. We got a question in the chat here. This is an FFPC for Mile High Luke. Luke, check your DMs on Discord. I sent you a message. He's my partner in Pros with Joe's.
Nice.
Big tourney here. Hopkins, Downs, or Tillman?
Oh,
That's a tough one, Nate. Luke's a sharp gamer,
yeah.
so he only asks tough questions.
This is one of the only scenarios I'm going to say DeAndre Hopkins.
Right.
Downs up against that Denver secondary, I hate it. Anthony Richardson against that Denver defensive line, I hate it. We don't know if Tillman's going to play, and if he does, it's more likely to be Judy and Elijah more than it is Tillman. So,
right. Yep, I fully agree. Hopkins, like, he's not playing a full snap share, but they always prioritize getting him something, you know. All right, here we go. Let's talk about the big one, baby.
All right.
Let's talk about the big one, folks. For those that don't really do a lot of gambling, an over-under of 40 is setting you up for a pretty bad game. An over-under of 45 is about normal. An over-under of 50 is when we sit here and we start going, okay, this could be a shootout. They got this one set at 54.5. How many of these do you see in any given season?
Like 5.
Yeah.
If that.
Out of 200 plus games,
yeah.
You'll see maybe 5 that are getting up to like 55. So we're going to need a Bill. We're going to need a Lion, man. Where do you want to start?
On the Bills side, it's Josh Allen. He's my QB1 this week.
That makes our life easy. It truly does, because, you know, he can break the slate, and there's really nobody on the Bills. I feel like they kind of like looked at what they were doing with Stephon Diggs and just leaning so heavily on him and just said, hey, you know what? Let's not do that anymore. Right?
Yeah.
Nobody really is the focal point.
No. Khalil Shakir can be at times.
Yeah.
But not enough to where he's that exciting of an option in the starter format. Yeah. Especially not over Josh Allen.
He's on pace for like just about 100 targets, Khalil Shakir, which is, I mean, it's better than any of the Packers, right? But like still, you know, full PPR. But I like that. Allen. Now the Lions. This is the toughest one. Yeah.
I don't even know which running back I want this week.
I know.
What do you do with this? You know, I'd probably, because you've got Amon-Ra, and then you've got Jahmyr Gibbs, and you've got David Montgomery.
Yeah, we'll put Amon-Ra's name in here because it has to be on the sheet, right?
Yep.
Sam Laporta, I don't love because the Bills were already pretty good against the tight end, and then they got Matt Milano back. Dude, the fact that Matt Milano is playing football this season is crazy.
Yeah.
Didn't he tear his like bicep like 2 months ago?
2 or 3 months ago. Yeah, like 2 months ago. Yeah. Some people like our son over here in the Polvogt house likes to say, some people are just built differently, Dad.
He's built different, dude. I don't know what he's made of, but like I don't know. I guess he's gonna play NFL football after tearing his bicep.
Well, good for him. I'm sure his mom's proud.
I would be proud. Yeah. I mean, he's very good at covering tight ends. So
yeah.
Well, what do you have in your rankings? In your full PPR rankings, do you have Gibbs or Monty ahead?
I got Gibbsy ahead, so let's go with Gibbs.
If we're gonna go with one of them. And I don't want to go Josh Allen, do you? I mean, Josh Allen. I don't want to go Jared Goff.
No, not when you have Josh Allen.
Yeah. All right. Next one here, Steelers, Eagles. Did we get any questions in the chat? They like Gibbs. Oh, Eric's got a question, and this is kind of a legitimate question all of a sudden. Amon-Ra St. Brown or Cortland Sutton? Cortland Sutton has not had a bad game in 7 straight games.
Cortland Sutton is legit. We're finally seeing what I think a lot of us believed he could be as a receiver. Now he's got a quarterback and an offense that works for him.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I'm probably going to say Sutton because of the matchup. I'll probably start Sutton over Amon-Ra.
Yeah.
I think Detroit's going to have to spread the ball out.
But then I come back to this over under, and I feel like you have to just go for parts of this game.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
You know, it's like,
I mean, it really is a toss up for me. Let's say with the over under, it's Amon-Ra. It's got to be Amon-Ra. With the
I'll tell you, Eric, the simple way to do it, if it's full PPR, it's Amon-Ra, and if it's standard or half, then maybe go Sutton. That's a pretty fair tiebreaker for those two players.
It's good advice.
Yeah. Steelers Eagles here, 43 point over under 55, 5.5 point spread in favor of the Eagles. So the Steelers, the team of destiny. I saw yesterday, our guy Josh Wagner likes to pull up the public numbers. 80% of the public is betting on the Steelers to cover that spread. What do you think about that, Nate?
I love that. I mean, I may or may not have a pair of Steelers cons behind me, but that is not swaying how I feel about this here. The Steelers team's good.
They're good.
They're good. They're legitimately very good. I think they could knock the Eagles off, especially with all the discord apparently going on in that locker room right now.
Right.
Like a real Donovan McNabb TO situation, if you're old enough to remember that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They don't dude, is it me or do they seem like they don't like Nick Sirianni? Like the players don't seem like they like him.
No, he seems like a jerk.
He does.
I don't think he's that jerk. And they won a Super Bowl because they had Josh Gannon and Shane Steichen. They did not win a Super Bowl because they had Nick Sirianni.
Right.
And you saw what happened when he was allowed to hire his own coordinators. That team was terrible. So
yeah. And on the flip side, I love Mike Tomlin. I think he's one of the best coaches, man. He just is.
I love Tomlin.
He does everything. Yeah. Like what I love that he the whole standard is the standard. Like he has a way that things are supposed to be, and he operates within that. And the results are that everybody buys in or they end up going away, So it's like,
yeah,
I really love when it's done that way, And he just you see his players like in recent years, they don't really say anything to the media that they're not supposed to say. Even George Pickens, it's like, so I don't know. I like the way he does things. So
yep.
If are we gonna play any Steelers though? No George Pickens for the next couple of weeks.
No, I don't. Pickens is the only player I'm really have been excited about. But on the Eagles side, obviously you've got to throw Jalen Hurts in there. But Saquon Barkley is my RB1 this week.
Yeah, and we'll put AJ Brown's name in here too, just because he's awesome.
Yeah, it'd be disrespectful not to.
All right, next one here, Colts Broncos, 44.5. Colt, I don't know. We don't like the Colts. No Colts weapons, right? Passing weapons at least. Jonathan Taylor is even on the table for this?
No.
I've got him. Fade the Colts. Fade them.
Fade all of them. I've got him all the way back at running back 18 this week.
Okay, me too. I thought I was going to be like the really low guy on Jonathan Taylor, and it turns out I'm really not.
Well, what's funny is that we were low on him on Tuesday, but it's moved to consensus is now at running back 18. So
yeah, Herm's Steelers fan in the chat wants Najee in there. I will say, as far he's never not had 1,000-yard rushing season since he's come in the league. Where's he at now?
Oh, he produces. He's at age 77, so he'll get there.
He's on pace, knock on wood.
He's got 16 carries in each of his last 3 games, too. But he needs a touchdown to be relevant in this format here, and I don't know that he gets one.
We're not starting him in this. On the Broncos side, though, got to throw Cortland Sutton's name in there for all the respect we gave him. I think he might end up in the lineup. Running back, dude, what do you make of the running back for this? Like, obviously, we're not going to use any of them, but like, dude, what's going on over there? Marvin Mims is getting carries.
Yeah, I think Javonte Williams is. I think we've seen his chance come and go with this Peyton offense. And past that, I really don't know. I don't want to roster Jaleel McLaughlin. It's really cool to see him have a big game. It's great, but you can't predict that. It could be this week against Indy, but this could also be an Audric Estime game because they've decided they want to feature him as well. In fantasy, I'm staying away from these guys.
Yeah, I think if it's going to be Sutton or nobody over there for that game. Yeah, good. Hamala Luke says, fade the Colts, but they somehow find a way to beat the Donkeys so I can stop hearing the stupid talk in Denver about the Broncos going to the Super Bowl. So he's out. Luke is out your way, but he's a Chiefs fan. So
in enemy territory.
Yes. So he don't take kindly. Right. He don't take kindly to those Broncos.
We're not going to the Super Bowl. Don't you worry, Luke. I will tell you that right now. Yeah. This doc will end soon.
I feel like if you live in Denver, you can't complain about. If you live in a certain city, you can't complain about people liking the local team, though.
No,
right?
You definitely can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, it's like if I was going to go, if I lived in New York City, I couldn't be like, these Yankees fans are everywhere. Like, yes. I mean, they're everywhere. It doesn't matter what city you live in. They're everywhere.
No, it doesn't. They're everywhere. But yeah.
And you got to, it's just like, when I was in Europe, dude, it was like everybody's got a Yankees hat. And I know they're cool, but I could tell these folks don't know who Juan Soto is.
Nope.
No. They're not even.
They're not going to find out anytime soon.
Okay, what did I just do to this thing? Okay, fixed.
No, we're good.
Sorry, this high tech technology here. Okay, next game here: Buccaneers, Chargers. This should be a good one. 45.5. Chargers favored by 3. Is there a Buccaneer you would rock in something like this?
If Bucky Irving's out, I'd probably be willing to talk about Rachaad White if he's going to get all that volume with Bucky gone.
Yeah, Bucky. I'm so tired of these game time decisions. They say Bucky's going to be game time. Yeah.
I could also be swayed maybe to start Mike Evans. I've got him in my top 10. So
yeah. Well, yeah, we'll hammer it out. There's a lot of spots in this. You start 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and 4 flexes. So it's like we can get creative. On the Chargers side, Chargers kind of a weird team.
Yeah, Ladd McConkey's an attractive option, maybe. I do worry about the fact he didn't play last week, and we know he's been kind of off and on hurt, but honorable mention to McConkey. I know you want to put Stone Smart in there so bad. I can see it.
Can't wait.
I know you want to do it.
Stone Smart, dude. It's a thing. I can't believe, like, everyone like asked me, they're like, oh, who's your deepest tight end stash, right? And for a couple of years there was this guy named Eli Wolf. This was a few years back. Very athletic player. His brother actually played in the league, but he kind of injuries messed him up. He washed out. He actually would have had a chance like this at one point with the Ravens when Mark Andrews got hurt and Isaiah Likely was hurt, but he was also hurt. So he kind of never really got his shot. Yeah, this is a while ago. Never really got his shot. But Stone Smart, I just been telling people, I was like, look, if you're going to take a bet on these guys that are way down rosters, you got to paint yourself a picture, right? How does this guy, first of all, why is he so far down the roster? In this guy's case, it's because he never played tight end. Like he played at JUCO, he was QB. He was a JUCO QB of the year at this place, at this college called Riverside, threw 3,000 yards and 30 touchdown passes. I'm looking out for a double pass this week, Nate. Look out for the Stone Smart double pass this week. But then then at Old Dominion, they converted him to wide receiver, and he played a little bit, but only had like 20 catches. But then the NFL came around. They were like, look, they're like, you're not built for an NFL wide receiver, but we can try converting you to tight end. And he said, sure. And, and he was behind Gerald Everett, who doesn't block. But then this new regime comes in, and they use 2-way tight ends. So he once again ends up buried. And then, sure enough, Will Disley, Hayden Hurst out. It's Stone Smart week. If Ladd McConkey, because he hasn't been, they haven't said he's definitively going to play. If he doesn't play, Stone Smart is a legitimate guy you can start, especially if you lost Ingram or Disley or Njoku if he doesn't play. I mean, conditions are perfect. So that's my Stone Smart speech for everybody. And on to,
it's an offense that you
came in last week. He wasn't playing in the first half because they had Disley. Disley gets hurt on the last play of the half, essentially. Hurts his shoulder. He comes out, plays 15 slot snaps, catches 3 balls. I mean, you could do worse. But in a format like this, we're not going to use it. But we're going to put him on the sheet out of respect. Packers, 45.5 here. Packers, Seahawks. These are all good games, but that Bills-Lions game is just – I'm scrolling so that it's off the screen because it's just like – it's ruining the color scheme. Usually, you know what I mean? Usually 24 would be much more green. So is there a Packer player we'd use here? If I delete that. Jacobs. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely Jacobs. Wide receivers are tough for the Packers.
Other than that, though, you don't know who's going to get the volume. You don't know who's going to get the high value targets for week. Oh, it's probably not going to be Jaden Reed if I start him.
Yeah. 0 points last week. Yikes, man. Him and Debo are just tough players to trust. So we'll pass on that. We had a question that come into the chat that involves Kraft. First seed. Oh, that's his team. Start Spears, Kamani Vidal, Isaiah Davis, or Madison. Tough crew.
I'd probably take a flyer on Vidal.
I kind of like that too because like Gus Edwards is not running the ball well, and like they clearly are kind of mixing Vidal in. So I like that. Cowboys or Chargers D. So Cowboys, Chargers are facing the Buccaneers. Cowboys are facing the Panthers.
I probably still lean Cowboy, and that Carolina offense has been a little bit better. I still turnovers are still going to be a thing there.
That's the play. And then Jake Elliott or Will Lutz. He's awesome.
I've got him higher in my rankings this week
awesome.
too.
And they're playing in Mile High, where it's easier to kick. Scientifically easier to kick in Mile High Stadium. How do I value?
Harder to run.
If Ladd McConkey plays, Stone Smart is where I'm leaving Stone Smart where he is in the rankings. So my rankings that if you check my rankings from yesterday, those assume that Ladd McConkey is going to play. So that's where I would rank him, which is you're probably only going to use him if you have nobody else besides, like Ingram got hurt and Njoku's hurt. You probably got somebody else, but I would start him over guys like Kyle Pitts at this stage. Just because of like Will Disley was doing great with Ladd McConkey in there. So why wouldn't Stone Smart do something,
Right. I agree with you.
But if McConkey's out, I will move him up. Like if McConkey's out, he'll probably end up somewhere close to my tight end 1 range, to be honest.
Wow. I don't hate that though. It makes sense.
Good, right? Because he's a big slot. He's a big slot. He's playing with Justin Herbert, and they're missing a lot of players. Like he's basically you're taking all the targets from Disley and McConkey in that short intermediate range. Quentin Johnston doesn't operate in there. Josh Palmer doesn't operate in there, right? Like so. I feel like he has to be involved. Plus, the guy runs like a 4.6, and he had a 50-yard touchdown last year. So you never know with guys like that.
No, you don't.
On the Seahawks side, what do I do here? I gotta stop messing with this sheet. On the Seahawks side here, what do you think? DK Metcalf's kind of been letting us down a little bit.
I have no interest in putting him on this spreadsheet. He's seeing wide receiver 1 volume. Don't love the matchup, but he's really the only player here. I take that back. Zach Charbonnet. If Kenneth Walker doesn't go, he's intriguing too.
Yeah, we have a question about Charbonnet in the chat for you. Can we start Charb if Walker goes? If not, it's got to be Javonte, Sterling Shepard, Noah Brown, or Josh Palmer.
I'd risk it with Charbonnet there, and
I would too. Go on.
He's still going to see volume even with Kenneth Walker, especially if Walker's dinged up. We see him do his thing to Walker in the lineup. So
right, exactly. Like there's been a number of weeks this year. I mean, there were a couple of weeks where he actually played more snaps than Kenneth Walker due to game script. So it's entirely possible. Go Bills in the chat. Honestly, man, even as a Patriots fan, I'd be fine with the Bills winning. Their fans deserve it. And I think that if they won the Super Bowl, I could go back to just being like, okay, F the Bills. But like, I think their fans deserve it. I think Lions fans deserve it too. A Bills-Lions Super Bowl, who would have a problem? Who would have a problem with that? That'd be just a wholesome, good time.
It's just fun.
That's just fun. That's just football fun.
Yeah.
So I'm liking that. He also asked Najee or Tracy.
Eesh. I'm probably gonna take Najee for the floor.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just like this. The implied point total, in case you missed it, kiddo, 13 points. Again, the color scale is completely screwed up on this thing this week because like no other team is below 18, but this one team is projected to score only 13 points, which obviously is going to really mess with the numbers here. Same with these two teams, the Lions and the Ravens, like 30-point implied point totals is messing up the color scheme. Anyway, Bears at Vikings. Bears. 18 points.
There's no one on this. No way I'm starting anybody on this Bears team.
I don't like it. Dude, people still start Cole Kmet. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I want to, but I can't.
Like, what are you guys doing starting Cole Kmet? He's had 2 good games when they throw 50 times. Yeah. Every other game, he's getting like 2 targets. He got 0 points last week. Stop starting Cole Kmet. Stop asking me about Cole Kmet. Quick question from Ethan. Does
ask you.
Go ahead. Ask me a Cole Komet question. I dare. I dare you.
I'm waiting until next week, Andrew. Until next
dare
week.
you to ask me a Cole Komet question. Does Brenton Strange have any value, or do I roll with Smart? I mean, he does have value, but I'm going Smart.
I'd go with Smart. You need a better situation.
Right. Just take the targets. Like, you can't, like, so Evan Ingram was getting 7 or 8 targets, right? 6, 7, 8 targets. Brenton Strange deserves fewer than that. And a lot of those were screens and are low ADOT, and the quality for Mac Jones are poor. So if you're talking about like 5 or 6, even 5 or 6 targets from Mac Jones to Brenton Strange, it's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah.
I don't know. On the Viking side, let's talk about players that we actually could utilize in fantasy. Vikings.
Ooh, give me some Jordan Addison.
Ooh, over Jefferson?
Receiver 3 in half PPR over the last 3 weeks. Yes. Jordan Addison.
Whoa.
This is just going off right now.
He's crazy.
I love him this week. 10 spots ahead of him in consensus rankings here. I'm at wide receiver 18, which I think is he is the guy on this offense I want this week in this match.
I love it, because Jalen Johnson's going to be on Jefferson, right? It's there.
Jefferson
yeah, so, yep. Dude, Jordan Addison came on our show on SiriusXM and had just the strangest, worst interview like possible. Like, he came on and just was not interested in answering any questions. We couldn't get anything out of him. And then that was the start of this 3-game stretch. So I like to think that our terrible interview with him really sparked his. He's like, man, I'm not good at these interviews. I better be good at football. Like, dude, he just came on like we're like, we're just asking him questions like, oh, did you, I know you're a wide receiver, but everybody plays both ways coming up. Like, did you make any plays when you were play defense, like in Pop Warner or in high school? And he's like, I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I was like, if you were some of the questions we had to even cut, I was like, if you were a baseball player, like, what would your walk-up song be? He's like, I don't know. I was like, you can't, like, just any song that you like. He's just like, I don't know. What would you pick? And I was so flustered. I was like, I don't know either. Let's talk about something else.
Sesame Street song.
Any song.
Let's go with that. Hey, just literally pick a song.
I was like, name any song by any person. Yeah, it's no good, man. Hey, you know what? Maybe I'm a bad interviewer, but shout out Jordan Addison. He's been incredible since then. Incredible. So yeah, I mean, like, the thing is, if we put together a lineup that's all chalk and then Jordan Addison instead of Justin Jefferson, that's kind of enough to differentiate, to be honest, with these things. So let's get this last game on the board, and then we'll go and build this lineup. For folks that are just joining us now, I'm Andrew Cooper from Fantasy Alarm. Joining me, Nate Polvogt, the co-founder of Optimus Fantasy, absolutely crushing over there, and I love everybody over there. And we're putting together an FFPC team, so we're going in and we're hitting on all the top matchups, top plays that we like, and then we're building an FFPC team where no draft, no salary. You can pick any players you want. You just can't pick 2 players from the same team. And if you want to play with us or against us, I recognize a lot of you guys' names in there nowadays. You can use promo code Coop at myffpc.com. They'll give you $25 off when you deposit $35 or more. Or you can just scan that little QR code right there. Look at that. Fancy. That's just fancy production, just like this incredible program we use in the background. So get in on that. Falcons Raiders last game here. Falcons are favored 44.5 point over unders. Falcons favored by 4. First, are there any Raiders that you would consider here?
Well, Brock Bowers.
It's tight end premium, and we do need a tight end. So
but outs. No, I don't have any interest. I don't really. I mean, have any interest in any Falcons players, Andrew?
Maybe Bijan, maybe.
Perform, but I still keep him in my top 10 every week.
You have to, though, right? That's like the rules.
Do have to,
and it's like random Tyler Algier touchdowns. So, like, if you just give those all to Bijan, then he's awesome, And Drake London. Is Darnell Mooney going to play? I was hearing that he was nicked up.
I think he's still seen anything really saying that he was that Nick.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Darnell Mooney has more receiving yards than Drake London, like on the season, which is kind of crazy. So, yeah, Bijan or nothing. All right. Well, why don't we get to making this lineup here? First off, just before we pop over, scrolling through here, are there any names that you are like, we have to have this player in our lineup?
Probably Josh Allen. Honestly.
Josh Allen definitely was a name that you were pumped on. Anybody else that's like that we were like, I'm trying to think if there were players we're like so hyped on. We're definitely hyped on Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry's what I want to get in there as well.
Yeah, especially because if we're using Allen, obviously we can't use Jackson. So
Right.
I think that's a good one too. All right, so let's start there then. Let's
Perfect.
Whoa, look at that. Just
hey,
right up on the screen.
It's magic.
How fun is that? How fun is that? So we'll put Josh Allen in, and then we'll put in
Derrick Henry.
Very good. All right. Well, why don't we do one more running back while we'll do our 2 running backs, and then I will do our wide receivers, and then we'll get the flexes.
All right.
So
I feel like it has to be Saquon, right?
I feel like that would be a pretty good pick. Going up against the Steelers here. I mean, he's just been so incredible that you kind of have to have him in there. And then again, we don't need Hurts. Like that's all our QBs. We don't need Hurts. We don't need AJ Brown.
Right.
Okay, wide receivers. Here are the wide receivers that we had as our guys. We had Waddle, Devontae Adams, Lamb, Thielen, Judy, Chase Brown, Marvin Harrison, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sutton, Evans, McConkey, JSN, Addison. I mean, there's no shortage of good running backs, but I feel like it's not a crazy wide receiver week.
It's not a crazy wide receiver week. I would say you had said Cortland Sutton, and I've been thinking about that in this Indy matchup. I think Cortland Sutton is a player I would like to get in there.
Yes, and that's at least unique enough that if he ends up being like the wide receiver 1 on the week, that's going to put us ahead of a lot of teams. Because I don't know if everybody really recognizes how good he's been. We got Sutton in.
Got Sutton in.
We both have Chase as our wide receiver 1 in our ranking. Should we just put him in? Yeah.
Got to do it.
Okay. Now here is where, all right, you know what? Let's do our tight end too and just get that done with. So the tight end options are Jonnu, Henry, McBride, Stone Smart, Brock Bowers. What are your top tight end rankings this week? Like Kittle's already played.
Right. Let me pull those up here. I got them right here. My top tight ends for this week.
I ranked Bowers 1, but like with the QB change and everything going on, I'm like, I don't know if he's like really the surefire one. What do you have?
I've got him at 1. I've got McBride at 2 if he plays, Kittle at 3, Hawkinson at 4, Jonnu at 5. I would lean Bowers just because of the matchup against the Falcons. Their defense has been atrocious.
He's going to get peppered no matter what.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, good. That's the play. Because these guys are all nicked up. Okay, so now let's go back and let's see. Are there any other big? So for our flexes, and here's what the lineup's looking like so far, folks. We have Josh Allen, Saquon, Derrick Henry, Cortland Sutton, Jamar Chase, Bowers. Now we got to do 4 flexes, a kicker and a defense. For the flexes, what are some of these other high over-under games? We have a Raven, right? That's 29.5. We have we need a Lion at 28.5 point over.
Yeah.
So we have to have a Lion.
Let me see
Chat, what do you guys think? Amon-Ra St. Brown or Gibbs?
I've got Gibbs 6 slots higher than Amon-Ra in my flex ranks.
Let's do it. Cousins or Murray? Let's hit these questions in the chat real quick. And
Murray.
TD in here shouting out Laney, shouting out Optimus. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Likes and subscribes. Those are free way to support us, man. And then how do people go out and support Optimus? Let them know, Nate.
Check us out on YouTube. Like I said, we've got 5 shows a week, ranging from waiver wire to DFS to just live Q&As a couple times a week. Check that out, Optimus Fantasy Football on YouTube, and head over to the site, optimusfantasy.com. We've got rankings, we've got articles, we got the great Kevin Tompkins and Casey Kasem putting out content for us over there. So, Bo McBrayer's got an article that comes out every week, his spicy takes for the weekend. Head on over to the website, optimusfantasy.com, and check us out over there on YouTube, Optimus Fantasy Football.
That rules, dude. Definitely check them out, dude, because everybody over there is awesome. It's easily leading the industry right now in vibes. That, you know what I mean? It's like the squad you put together is such a good vibes crew. Dylan Fink, playoffs. Let's go. Full PPR. Need 1 running back and 1 flex. He's got Bucky Irving, Kenneth Walker if they play. He's got Tucker, Braylon, Isaiah Davis, and Miller if they miss. And then he's got Devonta Smith and Jamison Williams. So, geez. I think you start Bucky, and if Bucky and Kenneth Walker are playing, you start them over all those guys.
Yes.
100%. If they don't, if one of them doesn't play, who do you play?
This is a sneaky one. And Dylan, you dropped this question for us yesterday on the show with Casey and I. My answer has changed. Kendre Miller is who I want. If you can't go with Irving or K9, he's starting to get volume. Dennis Allen is gone. He's out of the doghouse. And I think this is an opportunity for them to kind of dial back what Kamara is doing in the backfield. He's damn near 1,000 yards for the first time in his career right now. They don't want that. You don't want Kamara running the ball that much. So for me, it would be Kendre Miller there.
Yeah, and then Frymuth or Ertz. He's got Terry starting, if that matters. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Muth in that situation just because no George Pickens. I'm going to move Frymuth up now that the Pickens news is clear. But those guys are similar tier. If Kenneth Walker misses time, should I start Sharps over Jonathan Taylor? I would.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, and Hunter Henry or Mark Andrews, I have those guys back to back in my ranking.
Yeah, I've got him back to back as well. On a coin flip, I'm going to say Mark Andrews has higher upside.
I agree. I would maybe Hunter Henry in PPR, but I have Mark Andrews ranked ahead, and definitely in half in standard, and I'd probably go with Andrews. I mean, he played 74% of the snaps last week. He's back. Chat wants Gibbs. Yep. Let's go. Everybody in the chat saying Gibbs. Gibbs.
Good.
Gibbs. Get him in. All right, let's get him in then. So we got Gibbs in. 3 more flexes and we'll get you out of here. Let's see. Vikings, we want Addison. We got 25.5 point over.
Let's do it.
Yeah, implied point total is good. Matchup is good. And that's, I think with Sutton and Madison, that gives us enough differentiation unless you wanted to also do Waddle. Or we could just start HN. Oh, we got to get Mixon in.
Let's get Mixon in there. Yep. I don't hate HN either.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of like ultimate upside, which is what we need, let's go back through. This is our last flex spot. So for ultimate upside plays, you got HN, you have Kamara, you have CeeDee Lamb, right? You have Jerry Jeudy, who's been hot. Marvin Harrison.
Ooh.
Josh
Is
Jacobs.
Jeudy the play with how hot he's been?
Might be, man.
I mean, I know it's against the Chiefs. If we both feel like this over-under is kind of BS and this game's going to be higher scoring, that I think benefits Jerry Jeudy if it turns into a shootout. If he goes off, I think we could win this competition.
Yeah. He has been going crazy lately. Let's do it. Let's get Jeudy in there. Jeudy or Lamb?
Let's try it out.
Who would you start?
Jeudy.
Actually, that's what's so hard about this contest is I sit here and I'm like, if I was setting my flex in a lineup for a real team, I would start Devon Achane over Jeudy. But
yes.
So should we start Achane?
Oh man.
See, that's what. But the thing is, we got to think about like what other people are doing and who has like crazy upside.
I mean, if Jeudy has another 200-yard game,
Mile High Luke points out Chiefs aren't giving up points. Haven't been in a shootout for months.
That's true. That's a good point. Let's go Achane then.
Yeah, he's much more. He's fun.
And Luke, I do remember meeting you at Scott Fishbowl, I promise.
Yeah, Luke rocks, dude. All right, Let's do defense and a kicker. For defenses, projected points here, the options are versus Washington versus Saints, KC versus Cleveland, which we talked about, and then the Cardinals versus my sweet Patriots, which are all three of those are good options.
They're all really good options. Let's go.
Let me just check the kicker first.
Yeah, let's pick a kicker first.
Is Harrison Butker
lights out?
Yeah, let's do McManus. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
It's not going to rain in Seattle again, is it?
God, I hope. Well,
it always does.
Seattle.
Okay. That didn't help us.
No. Let's go Washington.
Against Jake Haener.
Yeah, I think Washington against Jake Haener is a pretty good one.
Yeah, I think that's a good one too. KC good too, but I think there is also the risk that Jameis Winston does a little something. He says Chiefs D. Winston going to give us a TD this week for sure. I guess that is the thing. Winston is just like
Let's go with KC. If we get a pick six, Jameis is trying to cram away.
We need We need the most upside, and I think KC has the most upside.
I think you're right. They do.
Did I put them in there? Where are they? Oh, there we go.
There we go.
There it is, folks. So here's the lineup. Again, if you want to play with or against us, go to myffpc.com. Use promo code Coop. They'll give you $25 when you deposit $35 or more. Our lineup, our humble lineup of Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Cortland Sutton, Jamar Chase, Devon Achane, Jahmyr Gibbs, Joe Mixon, Jordan Addison, Brock Bowers, Brandon McManus. I thought we weren't doing a lot of chalk. We managed to get a lot of chalk in there.
We did
these plays.
But I think we're different enough though in some spots, like with Addison and with Bowers. Well, probably not with Bowers. With Addison, with Achane, I think those are a little bit different. Cortland Sutton too.
I've seen enough of these teams. Not to mention when you go and look at the players we didn't use. I mean, like we didn't use CeeDee Lamb. We used Jamar Chase. We didn't use Justin Jefferson. We didn't use Nico Collins. We didn't use Bijan. We didn't use Kamara. Like there's plenty of chalk out there for other people too. So aren't these fun, dude?
Yeah, this is a blast. I'm gonna have to start doing these more often. I really like this.
It's like it's such a you know what it is? It's really therapeutic once your fantasy teams lose. Like once I get eliminated from fantasy playoffs, especially week 17 and 18, I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna have everybody this week. I'm gonna go to FFPC.
Right?
I'm gonna do an FFPC.
Might as well.
Yeah, it's so great. I'll go to FFPC. I'll make it a lineup with everybody, and then I'm gonna go watch the game at my buddy's house, and every touchdown is gonna be a high five because I got everybody. That's FFPC.
That's right. That's how you do it. That's a good Sunday.
Yeah, that's a good Sunday. So, all right, we'll get you out of here. Let everybody know once again where they can find you and what you got going on, brother.
You can find me over on Blue Sky and Twitter at Nate Polvogt. You can also find OptimusFantasy.com and on YouTube at Optimus Fantasy Football. Check us out on Twitter as well at Optimus Fantasy.
Awesome, man. And you guys know where to find me at Coop Fiasco, and we're here doing all this stuff. For folks that have start-sit questions, we'll be live Sirius XM 10 to 11 on Sunday, and then right here 11 to noon, hitting all those questions. So thank you guys for popping in the chat. Thanks for hanging out. Nate, you're the man. We're out of here. Enjoy your weekend, folks.